the Jay-Z's of this world, for example, they find our solutions for them are within the system. The pro-black people want to find your solution within the white supremacy system. They are the integrationists. Those that celebrate the first blackism. First black to go to this place. First black to open this shit. First black to work here. First black to do it. So it's all integration, about integrating, about how much they can achieve in the empire. Pro-black people generally do not have a problem with empire. Most of them are in active service of the empire. The pro-blacks are, the ideology is the black excellence rhetoric to outwhite the whites.
Beat them at their own game.
It's almost like the spook who sat by the door.
Exactly like Frantz Fanon said, the destiny of the black man is to be white. Yes, in black skin, white mask, which is true, because black in this concept is that which is seeking whiteness.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
Really know if this is my last time, but what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More important, you saw the clip. It's an African brother, I think, talking to African brother talking to a Caribbean brother about pro-black and Pan-Africanism. And this becomes a problem. This is where these how can I say, Black Americans versus conversations come up. It's too often that, for one, pro-black is a Black American thing. And even Pan-Africanism is a Black American thing. So what winds up happening is you get Africans and Caribbeans talking about a Black American thing, and they put stuff on it that's not actually Black American. What I mean is, if you have a certain ideology in the Caribbean or in Africa, all of a sudden you put it under the Black mantra, and it's supposed to be Black Americans. And it's like, oh, I get it. So when they say, in service to the empire and being Black but want to be white, and it's like, that's really not us, dog. That's the reason why there was a pro-Black movement and a Pan-African movement in the first place. It was to unite Black people from America, the Caribbean, and Africa. But all of a sudden, you got to interject Black Americans in it to make us a problem in something that we tried to become a solution for. So now you have these situations where, we got the Jay-Z's and basically the Black Americans are this and the Black Americans are that. And it's like, okay. So now we're all these things that we can see you are. Because I think, let's just say when people come to America, the United States of America, from the Caribbean and Africa, we do, we do try to reach out to them and give them a lay of how the society works. But in a general sense, they don't want to talk to us. They don't want to believe us. So they're experiencing American racism like for the first time on their own. Or if they have when they have a generation that's older than them, but they don't really tell them the whole story. And then they start finding out things on their own. When I say this, I remember talking about this a while ago. I had a professor in college in sociology. He was from, I think it was Barbados. I want to say it was Barbados. He's either that or Bahamas. I know it was a B. And he said when he first moved to the United States, he was a college student and he was in college, and he was in the dorms, and the black dudes in the dorms were trying to school him on how America works. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, you're Black. I'm like, from Barbados or the Bahamas. I'm different. and they was like, oh, this is what we doing? Okay. And they left him alone. And, you know, the white cops introduced him to America as being black, and he couldn't Caribbean his way out of it. And then he came back to the brothers in the dorm, and he was like, brother, man, I got treated like that, da, da, da. And they was like, no, 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 you're not black, remember? You're not black. So, and he said that to the class. It was like, you know, that stuck with him because he realized how out of pocket he was, because he thought, because he's from a different part of the world, you know, he don't get our experience when he's in the country of that experience. And it's like, he's like, yeah, man, and he's like, and he was saying like, my people, we got to learn the hard way. And this was like 20 something years ago. But you see it now, like, these guys, they reference Black America like now they're quote unquote woke to what's going on in America. And it's like, you still don't get it. You still don't get it, do you? Like you really don't understand what's going on. And I understand it from the perspective of you come from a place where you're the majority in population. And you think, what you think is corruption is your own people corruption. And then you come to this country and you feel like it's nicer than where you're from, and it's got to be this way because of white America. And it's like, no, but can't tell you nothing. So now it's like, oh, you mix these, you mix your own homeland ideologies and your own projection of who you are internally when it comes to interacting with race in America, and you put that on us as Black Americans, and it's like it don't fit. That's why it comes off as insulting, because the things you say to us, we're trying to figure out what are you talking about? Because, like, let's just say this: you have people talking about, let's just say, colorism, and we'll see, like, more often. How can I say, like, Africans and Caribbeans have a color issue. Like, they like somebody lighter and whiter. You get what I'm saying? Like, they gravitate to that, because in Black American culture, it's, you kind of get looked at with you don't kind of, you get looked at with a side eye when you just automatically go, oh, I like them because they're light or white, or you start getting that side eye like, nah, we gotta watch this Uncle Ruckus behavior, because it doesn't it doesn't come off the way people think. So we see other people doing it and they go, that's how you are. And it's like, nah, that's how y'all are. Because we're not dyeing our skin, and we're not, praising, people for being white. It's like, that's not our thing. Same thing with the people go with the education route. You guys, you don't want to learn. And it's like, all right, we don't want to learn. We're stupid. We don't go to school. And it's like, you're in America, right? Yeah, but we work harder than you. Oh, okay, you're in America, right? Yeah, okay, well, riddle me this. You don't think Black people went the education route and the hard work route and the working, in the system route? You don't think we went that way already? You think we're just where we're at, and we're living in your stereotype of us out of we just threw our hands up? No, you're gonna find out, because we work with you guys, you men and women. We work with y'all. We work with y'all in all of these American corporate settings, and we let y'all know, hey, do this, don't do that. And y'all go, do this, but don't do that. And it's like, nah, I'm different. It's like, okay, all right. And then you wind up putting yourself in a spot where you jamming yourself up and you trying to figure out what happened. And then you got to sneak back to us and go, what happened? I told you this 3 months ago. Don't interact with them like that. Not like that. They're not your. I told you they're not your friends. I told you they finna stab you in the back. I told you that they gonna make you do all the work and they gonna get all the money from it. I told you this already, but you didn't want to hear me though. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, and it's like a process. Like, um, we see y'all constantly just you're chipping away at what America is because you don't want to deal with it because you're really not from here. You get what I'm saying? And we don't get it as Black Americans. We don't get it because it's like, why are you trying to tell me about my country and my culture and you not from here? You don't know what you're talking about. I can tell you the good, the bad. I can predict what's gonna happen. I can tell you go that way or don't go that way, but you just hard headed, and then you bring all of your confusion and put it on us as Black people, Black Americans. It's the same thing when you see the thing with Adonis Live and being Black and talking in Britain and you see the Black Brits, whether they got Caribbean or African lineages, they saying stuff and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you really don't get it. You really don't understand. We're not emulating you. Every time you emulate Black culture, you try to act like it's the worst thing in society. And it's like, all right, whatever, bro. Like, whatever. So a lot of times we kind of take a step back from everybody because you need to have an awakening on your own without our involvement. You need to get smacked in the face by the reality without our involvement. You need to, leave us out of your pro-Black and pan-Africanism ideas and see what that is in your community. What is the issue with pro-Black and pan-Africanism in the African community or in the Caribbean community, and leave us out of it. Don't put Black America on your ideology of what you're going through as a group, because y'all completely wrong about us. And that becomes the issue, because when America has you doing negative things, you put that on Black America. Or when America funnels you because of race to negativity, you put that on Black America. But it's like, oh, but now that it's our fault too. But if you excel and do something positive, you put that on your own culture. And it's like, bro, how about you just deal with your stuff? And that's why you have this whole issue, even with the Tariq Nasheed thing. It's like people get tired of, because you could use people like, just like say Fresh and Fit. They don't, you don't hear Walter or Myron talk about Sudanese culture or Caribbean culture. You don't. They just bring up white America, Black America. That's what they do. You get what I'm saying? And you see this time and time again with people who have a different ethnicity or nationality. And it's like, no, how it's, you hear these people, it's a culture problem. You're the one acting out of pocket. You're the one who is controversial. You're the one who's disrespectful, but somehow it's our culture. And it's like, boy, y'all, you're the one who's a hypocrite and a walking, contradiction, but that's us. It's like, nah, man, y'all got to figure that out. But just tell me what you think, and catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.